Hi, pretty little lifters. Today I'm joined by Jamie Desso. Jamie is an elementary school teacher and a kettlebell trainer based in New York. This is the fourth educator I've had on the podcast this season that just so happened to be from New York. So that makes me happy to know that New York has some awesome, active, strong, and health promoting teachers. I came across Jamie's social media page called the Kettlebell Classroom, where she shares her personal fitness videos as well as videos of her awesome students doing kettlebell movements and flows with her. It is so cool, so inspiring. By the way, she is so strong, total strength goals in SPOs. As a former kettlebell coach myself, it was so cool to see her bring that to her students, and I am here for it. Now let's welcome Jamie to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast, Jamie.
Thank you for having me.
I am so excited to have you here, and I want to make sure everyone gets a little intro of who you are. So give us a little intro. Who are you, where you're from, and what are you currently up to professionally?
My name is Jamie Desso. I'm from Albany, New York, and I am a second grade teacher at a school called Turnpike Elementary. And I do some online training and tutoring as like a side job.
I love that. So I do an intro before I always talk to my guest. And in the intro, I had mentioned that you are my fourth guest from New York, just by coincidence.
Oh, wow.
This season of the podcast. And I was like, I am so impressed with our healthy and active New York teachers. I was like, go off, New York. I was like, that is so awesome. But I was first introduced to kettlebells in 2007 when I was 23 years old, which feels like a lifetime ago. And a friend of mine at the time, his name is Marcus Martinez. He's still really big in the kettlebell space. He opened one of the first kettlebell gyms in Orange County in California over here. And I started going there, and it was brand new to me. And it was really fun to learn something new and challenging. And every time I told people about it, especially back then, they would say, "What's a kettlebell?" instead of saying kettlebell. And I even started coaching. Right? Do you still get that?
Yes.
That is so funny.
Well, I'm in school all the time. And my students correct them.
I love that. I love that. And I get it because the shape, it looks like a ball. So I was like, okay. But I even started coaching kettlebell, based training when I was at a gym in Nashville, Tennessee, where I lived for 1 year as an elementary teacher. And the owner was a strength coach for the Tennessee Titans football team at the time. So it was really cool to train not only the general population, but introduce them to kettlebells, which was really cool. But also I got to train like some of the NFL players. So I was curious, what was your story? Because this was back in the early 2000s for me, but how did you get introduced to kettlebells, and how has this method of training evolved for you?
First of all, I wish I knew. I don't even think I knew about them back then. I've only been training with kettlebells for about 3 years. And honestly, my boyfriend at the time was, I think right after COVID, he started like getting into them, or maybe during COVID. And he started before me. And then I was into bodybuilding. I was a runner, a bodybuilder. And I don't know, slowly, like, I would start trying some things with the kettlebells with him. And like after a couple months of just like following what he did, I kind of just like went with it, and I completely stopped bodybuilding. I only train kettlebells now. I throw in some sandbags and some landmine. Like, all of my training is completely functional now. And for no other reason than I just find it way more fun. Like, every workout is fun to me. Every workout is a challenge. I look forward to seeing my progress. And I don't think people realize, like, workouts are so hard to learn. It's like fast learning.
So hard.
I can't just watch someone and be like, I'm gonna do that. I have to like have coaching, or like someone explaining like the technique, what I'm doing wrong. That's a that for a while, actually. So yeah, it's very hard, but it's so fun and so worth it to me. I don't think my mobility has ever been this good, and I'm 41 years old. Like, I'm moving way better. I feel more powerful. I feel stronger. I don't know. I can't even explain it. I'm just really, really a true adult. Like, I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, we are the same age, so I love that. And
Oh,
one
never guess. You look great.
yes, same as do you. First of all, based on what I've seen on your Instagram page, I can't believe you've only been doing this for 3 years. Like,
Thank you.
it is so impressive.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's really, really impressive. And like, as you mentioned, like this type of training, like to me, I actually do think it is the most challenging because it is the most technical, right? Like, do you
Yes.
agree?
It's not only, I mean, I feel like every workout, it's not only challenging my body, it's challenging my mind. Like putting together complexes and remembering movements in certain orders. And when I do my kettlebell flows, like it took me, when I started flowing, I remember sitting there and screen recording people and then practicing that for like 3 days before I even got it. And now I just go in like 5 minutes and make up my own.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's really interesting because obviously I was doing kettlebell training honestly before I got into barbells. Like barbells are my girl now and I love them. Like that's like you have kettlebell training and you like love it, you crave it. That's how I am with barbells. Like I just love barbell training and Olympic lifting and like different things like that. So it's like that's my thing. But like when I was doing kettlebell training, it was like it was a big learning curve for sure, because like you said, everything was new and everything was so technical. And, but I still kind of think that, yeah, there's also this level of like patience, right? Do you,
That's what gets people. That's why people won't try.
Yes. Yep.
I was bad for I mean, at least a year and a half. Like, and I didn't think I was bad, but I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I feel like the kettlebell probably transferred well to the barbell, right?
Yes. And I think that's the piece and it's interesting because it is a different piece of equipment. But when I started learning Olympic lifts with a barbell, I knew what a clean was. Yes. I knew what a jerk was. I knew what a snatch was. And I just had to translate it to a barbell. And it's different, but like, the understandings of the mechanics. So I was like, oh, I know how to do this. Like, give me a barbell. Like, let me just practice. So it was really cool because I knew all that terminology.
That's awesome. That's like probably the only training I haven't done. I have not done Olympic lifting like that.
Yeah. And I think it would be like if you did try it because you have that foundation of the movements and you understand the mechanics, like you would totally pick it up easily. So some of my favorite videos on your page are of your students practicing, your second graders, right? Practicing.
Second grade.
Oh my gosh, they're practicing with kettlebells and you're taking movement breaks with them. You also recently did a kettlebell routine with them for your school talent show. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. And you got such a positive response online, which I think was amazing. So how did you start incorporating kettlebell education into your classroom as an elementary school teacher? Because you're not a PE teacher. No. And was there any pushback? How did you get the equipment? And lots of people are inspired by this. And I'm sure people listening are like, I want my kids to have this at their school. Or maybe there's a teacher who's into fitness who's like, I want to do this in my classroom.
And it doesn't even have to be kettlebells. It could be any type of fitness you're into. Honestly, I really hadn't gotten a crazy amount of pushback, especially not from my students' parents. They all love it because their kids are so happy. Like their kids look forward to coming to school. And it all started randomly on a Friday. We have like a 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the end of the day. Every Friday we call it Fun Friday. If they earn it, we can do, some extra recess or anything. Like we do something different every time. So one Friday I was like, I'm going to bring in my kettlebell and juggle for them. And I just started randomly doing it and they were immediately amazed. And so then it built off of that. Like I would bring it in and then like I would show them a movement and let them try it. Now the bell I juggle with is like, I want to say it's 6 kgs. So it's light, like they can do things with it. I wouldn't have them like snatch it or anything, but I was letting them swing it. And then a friend of mine reached out to me because I think I posted a couple like little clips, maybe in my story or something, of my kids doing it and watching. And he was like, this man sells kettlebells for kids and he's amazing. And I reached out to him. He sent me 2 free kettlebells. He's wonderful. He sent me 2 free kettlebells. So it started with that. I brought the 2 kettlebells in. They were like hooked immediately. They all took turns like trying it. And then I was like, well, I need more because that's going to take too long, like.
Yes.
And so he helped me. We did like a GoFundMe, and people on Instagram I think I got all the kettlebells in a month, maybe.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, everyone just
amazing.
donated. It was awesome, and they would come they would send me them in like groups of like 4 or 6, and I would bring them into school, and the kids would be unpacking them and so excited. But I also use it a lot of ways. Like I use them for counting, like skip counting by 5s and 10s. We do math word
Love
problems with
it.
them. I mean, they're never engaged like they are if I bring even the word kettlebell. If I'm doing a math word problem and inserting like kettlebell weights instead of like apples. They don't care about apples. Like they're not going to sit there and try to problem solve. Like I'm bringing in kettlebells. You have to find out how much weight you have, and they love it. They sit there and they'll work together, and they're just so engaged. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I think like the examples that you're giving, this is kind of the missing link, that relatability of like, these are tools, but like, especially with anything in like fitness and health, like this could span to every curriculum. Like you could get into science, you can get into math, you can get into history. Like there are so many avenues that you could take this one thing that the kids are excited about and make it relevant. So I love that you are doing that. And yes, I'd rather read a word problem like that than apples. So
Yeah, I mean, I've done it in phonics also. I've even segmenting sounds and words, which is hard for them. Like give the kids up, give them a kettlebell, give them a word, and they each do a swing for each sound, and then they say the word. Things like that, like little tiny things that you
yes.
can incorporate really quick. And of course, the movement breaks. Like most teachers, they're going to put on Go Doodle, and then the kids are going to watch the screen, and they're always behind a screen. So they're going to sit there
Yeah.
watching a screen and copying movements. So why not just do your own?
Yeah. I love that. I used to teach elementary school for 10 years. And because I was also doing kettlebell training or CrossFit or barbell, whatever I was doing, like I would always find a way and I think that's why I connected with your account so much. Cause I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I used to do when I wasn't a specifically PE teacher and I was still in elementary. I was like, yeah, those would be my movement breaks. Like it wouldn't be just a video. It's like, let's go outside and do yoga. Let's learn this pose. Let's take whatever
Yes.
it is. Like, let's get the ball and do like these wall balls, like whatever it is,
Well,
right? Just something different.
it's such a bonding experience too with your students. Like just share
Yes.
your passion with
Yes.
them. But people don't understand that because I have gotten negative comments on the internet. Um, this is a waste of tax dollars. What is this teaching them? Like, you wouldn't believe, like, what do you mean, what is this teaching them?
Yeah.
There's so many
Exactly.
things I could name, like, but I think the most important thing, like, for us is, like, the sense of community and bond that my class has this year. They're a very, very busy class. They're very loud. They can't sit still. They literally cannot sit still. They're adorable. I love them all. I'm the only teacher in the room. At the end of the day, I might feel like I don't know, I lost my mind. But they need these breaks, and
Yeah.
they are working harder for me now than they were at the beginning of the year. Even parents have noticed. Like, I've had a couple parents reach out recently, and like parents that did not love me at first, or I don't know, they just were like indifferent. One was like a really tough parent, and just said, I just want you to know that my son is working really hard reading at home, harder than ever before, and I have you to thank for that. And her son actually said to me one day,
Oh,
Miss Desso, I've never worked this hard for a teacher before. He literally said that to me. And I was like, you're doing, like, it was just so sweet.
yeah. And that's the piece. Like, and you mentioned it earlier, that kids love when teachers share their hobbies with them. They really do connect. Like, just like you share your love for kettlebells, that's what I did. Like, I would talk about barbells and lifting, and I would like handstand walk with them outside. Like, they got so excited. Like, they would cheer for me. Like, they would cheer for me. And I felt like such a queen. And I was like, what?
And people will be like, "Oh, you just need attention. That's sad." And I'm like, of course, a teacher wants positive attention with their students.
Yeah.
They're living 6 hours a day. Do I want them to hate them?
Exactly. And no, I just think it's so great what you're doing. We need more of that in elementary schools and beyond. Like, I specifically teach PE, so I mean, in middle school and high school, like, yeah, that's something. Oh my gosh, please. I am like actively trying to recruit amazing PE teachers in our space because we really need it.
I live New York.
Really need it. Anybody I talk to that I see the spark, I'm like, you should get your PE credential, just because we need like more innovative, modern teachers. Like, we need to fill this space.
That's what I wanted to do. That's what but my college counselor at the time told me like I wouldn't find a job. They were like, "No, you just go for classroom teaching." So that is why I didn't. And I'm like, I love being in the classroom, but I really, PE was like what I wanted to do.
Oh yeah. And honestly, as somebody who has because I started kind of like what you did, like I'm elementary first, and then I made the switch and just did the added credential. Like, I think that's something that could work for you, because you could still have the safety of your job until you find that PE job.
Yeah.
I mean,
isn't that like much more to do?
No, it's not. It's just I don't know how it is in New York, but in California, it was just taking the CSET and then the methods course. That was it, because especially like, since you and I already have background and stuff, like it's not as demanding or anything. Yeah. So planting that seed, I think you should. I mean, I'm so lucky to have you.
It really is like about. I'm just like, I'm waiting for the day to leave New York. Honestly.
Yeah.
The winters are bad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in Southern California, and I'm dying when it's under 70. So I'm a baby. So I can't even imagine how you guys are doing it. It was
hot every day. So I went to California, and it was 100 degrees every day I was there. And I was just like, this is perfect.
You're like, I'll take it. Take it. So one thing that you mentioned right now was some people kind of having things to say like, "Oh, you're using taxpayer dollars to do this." But so I love when women call out specifically men online and put them on blast for inappropriate comments or DMs. And I noticed you tend to do that. And I was like, yes, queen, go off. And I noticed that you do get a lot of comments from men, whether it's about your body or strength or questioning your abilities or your teaching practices. And I mean, we all know that these comments stem from insecurities. So how do you handle this? How do you not let it get to you mentally? And I know a lot of women struggle with this because they want to show up more online, but they're very nervous about this. So like, what do you do? What helps you?
Oh my gosh, there's been, when it first started, I definitely like, I don't know. There were days where I just wanted to get off Instagram. Like, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just built up such a tolerance to it, and changing my mindset. Like, every negative comment is not about me. It's about them. Like, you would not believe, I had people emailing. They looked up where I taught, emailed my superintendent, a bunch of people from all over the world saying that.
This is crazy.
Crazy. So I changed. So my Instagram handle used to be Kettlebell Biz, and I changed it because I was like, all right, I guess I better have people like bringing this attention to my superintendent. They knew we were doing this in the classroom. They never said, like, don't do this. My principal is very supportive of it. She loves them. They're active. She had to come into my room one day, like, for a meeting, and she was like, she used the word trolls. She's like, trolls are emailing the superintendent. And after that happened, and like, no, I didn't get any repercussion. Like, they didn't say stop doing it, because they know it's for the best interest of my students. So they're not going to say stop doing this. That though, for a minute, I was like, oh my God, I have to stop. And then but for every negative comment, you get a million more positive comments. So that's one way that I look at it. Another thing is like, sometimes I'll click on the people and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, look at this person. Like, of course they're going to say something like that.
Yes.
As far as like, the biggest challenge is like the comments about the body and all that. It's just like, I'm so over it that I'm gonna put you on blast, or I'm gonna say you, or like, just because one guy had the nerve to say like, well, you shouldn't be posting yourself dressed like that, and I'm like, I'm in a sports bra and shorts. Like, if that gives out the vibe that like this is an OnlyFans page, like, I'm sorry, that's you. That is not me.
That's on you.
Not raised correctly, and you do not respect women, and that's the biggest thing I get. And I get more haters. Like, they'll be like, "You're an ego lifter. You're gonna get hurt," and it's because I'm lifting more than them. And I'm like, I've been lifting for 17 years. Like, I know my body. I know if I'm gonna get hurt. Then I don't push it. Like, you can't tell me I'm gonna get hurt.
Yeah. And like, also, do you think you want to get hurt? You want to keep doing the thing. So
exactly, like, I'm not going to do something that I know is going to hurt me.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting. But yeah, I have been seeing more women, you know, like yourself, like posting even their little profile picture, and you see the guy and you're like, of course, that's the guy that said that. Like, of course, like this tracks. Like, this tracks.
I've been doing a lot of blocking lately too. Like, I used to like calm down my snapping back because I'm like, this is wasting too much energy. So I like pick and choose. Most of the time, just block. Block.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's amazing. I actually had this guy comment on one of my TikToks the other day, and the funny thing is, it was a lift I was proud of because I had, in like 2020, 2021, I had a disc bulge. So I had to pretty much like stop lifting and then start back from square one. So all the strength, you know, kind of definitely got cut in half. And the other day I did a back squat at like 155. It's not a PR for me, but it's a PR post injury. So I was like stoked. So I posted this on TikTok, and of course some little troll comments on there like, oh yeah, maybe next time instead of stacking 10s, you can put the 45s on there. And I was like, I literally was just like,
that's I think of it as like, I just had a guy comment something that I'm gonna get hurt, whatever. I pick him up and he's like obese and 70 something, and I'm just like, okay, maybe you get hurt doing this, but I'm not. He comes back. I'm a retired world champion, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't care what you're the champion of. You're retired, and this is how you're spending your time. Go to the beach. I don't like. If I'm
like get offline.
If I'm showing people online that I'm retired, like, I'm gonna go back to it.
Yeah, no, 100%. And no, it was so funny. So like, I was feeling sassy that day, and I was like, bro, relax. It was 5:45 a.m. I'm not pulling out the 45s. And he was like, valid. And I was like, yes, and mind your business. Like, if that's what you looked at.
I was like, and then they'll like turn and accept me. And sometimes they're just like, there's people that when on my teaching posts, if they say something negative and I clap back at them, then they're like, oh my God, you shouldn't be a teacher. You're such a bitch. Is this the example you set for your students? And I'm like, wait, you're attacking me on my page, and I can't defend myself. I can't like stand up for myself. I'm a bitch.
Exactly. Yeah. I 100%. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I also am just like, I don't have time or the desire to troll people or the energy. Like, it's just like, I'm going to go do something cool, but have fun.
If I see something that I don't like, I'm just going to scroll right by it. Like,
it's that easy.
I don't think fun should be positive comments. I'm not taking time out of my day to be negative. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. So we talked about this a little bit earlier about like the different types of training. So let's break down how kettlebell training differs from other types of more traditional training equipment like dumbbells and barbells, maybe sharing some of the pros and cons, or what do you think some of the added benefits are as a training tool for kettlebells that may differ from other equipment? Because sometimes people don't like know the difference of like, how does this differ than like me using a barbell or dumbbell?
All tools are great. Like, still, do barbell rows, stuff like that. Like, I'm not against any of the tools, but kettlebells for me are just, they're more functional than just barbell lifting. Like, you're just, so many different movement patterns that you can do, which is crazy. Like, I'm still learning more every day. Like, I'll see something on Instagram, someone doing something, and then I try it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it's way harder than it looks. Like, you're engaging your entire, like, my core is just like engaged in every lift. I've never ever had abs before. Like, I've never been that person. I've always had like cut arms. My back has always been my back. But like, I've never had abs. And all of a sudden, like, this year, I'm like, oh my God, I have some abs. Where did these come from? I don't do sit-ups. Like, I don't train my abs. I'm just training my core every day. I just think it's a lot of functional strength, and also just the tool in general is so versatile. Like, I can throw them in my trunk of my car and go out to a grass field and do a crazy workout with just 2 kettlebells, even 1 kettlebell. Like, you can just work with them in so many different ways that you can give me 1 kettlebell weight and say, plan a whole full body workout with this, and I can do that. I don't think you can really do that with machines and dumbbells. And I mean, dumbbells, you could do like a circuit. I used to do stuff like that too, and I'm not against like dumbbell like training. For me, I don't know what it is about the kettlebells. I think I feel like I'm stronger since using them. I can't explain why. Maybe just like a lot of power that it requires to like, the hinging of the hips and stuff. Like, my hamstrings and my hips have never been stronger. Just swinging kettlebells does that. I don't know. I just think everyone has preferences, and I think people are afraid to try kettlebells. They're afraid of it, because they're hard to pick up on at first, but just like everything, like, a little bit of practice goes a long way.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because as much as I love barbells, like, because I just love how heavy I can get, and I just love the iron, like, I love barbells, but I will always say, like, if you could only have 1 piece of equipment, let's say you're at your house or whatever, and you could only have 1 piece of equipment, I was like, probably a kettlebell. Like, you could just do so much, like,
because there's so much. I have not done, and I probably should do these more, but I have not done a back squat. I haven't done a leg press, leg extension. I have not touched a machine, and I couldn't even tell you how long. But my legs are stronger than ever. My legs are getting like thick with size. Like, I don't know, some people might not like that, but I love it. Like, I've been using sandbags too. Oh my gosh, you want a good leg workout? These sandbags, I just did a whole workout with sandbags today, and then I'm like, I need to nap. Like, they take it out of you, and I feel like they build like a thickness, and I like that. Well, I used to want to be like this skinny, ripped, shredded person, and that's cool if that's what you want. But I've changed like my perspective. I don't want that anymore. I like to look like strong. I want to be as strong as possible. Like, that's just really what it comes down to. I got sick at the beginning of the year in October, and it was so bad, and I never get sick. But I lost like, I think 8 pounds. I didn't eat for like 4 or 5 days. And I remember the like first couple workouts back, even like a good probably 2 or 3 weeks, like, I could not lift like I was before, and I was so mad. I was so mad. And I was like, no, I gotta not be shredding and be lifting more.
Yeah, I love that. I love that mentality because it really does, change your perception of like, you cared more about what your body could do and like performance-wise.
That's what kettlebells has done for me, and I think that's why I love them so much. I've struggled with like eating disorders my whole life. Like, from one, I had a coach do like give me macros, and he had no clue what he was doing, and I lost a lot of weight fast. It was before my wedding, and I was like shredded, and I was afraid to eat carbs for so long. I've been battling that. And I mean, kettlebells have really like helped with that, because now I'm like, no, I need to eat. Like, I want to fuel my body because I want to be able to dead snatch 32 kgs. Like, I just want to do that. And I think that's why, like,
Yeah.
I'm like in love with, they saved me in a way.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I do think that like when I see especially women who train with kettlebells, they are some of the most functionally fit people out there. Like they
Yeah.
are. Like I mean I used to do it. Like when I think about like what I used to be able to do, like I did this crazy thing with because and I think here's the thing too. We don't see a lot of like kettlebell exclusive gyms. And
There's
back in the early 2000s, like I went to one. So it was literally like, that's what there was. Like it was just kettlebells. Like that's what it was. And we would do these crazy challenges where like we had this backpack made for kettlebells and we'd put a kettlebell in the backpack and we'd do this like 2 mile, like this mile run on the beach. And then we had to do a whole kettlebell workout and then a mile run back. And it was like a contest. And I did it. And I was like, why am I doing this to myself? But like, let me tell you, like I was for like my body weight at that time because I was on the smaller side. It was like kind of my intro to working out and stuff. I was so strong for my size.
Yes.
Like, you know, when I would think about how much I could snatch overhead per my body weight, I was like, that's really strong.
My gym that I don't really go to this gym anymore because they just don't have a good selection of kettlebells. They have like one for each weight, and that now more and more people are using them. So I'll go and like there won't be the weight I want, but I would be there in the corner, and I was like the only kettlebell for a while. Like people were looking at me like, "What the hell is she doing?" And these guys would come up and be like, "What do you do? Like? What is that?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm dead snatching this kettlebell." And they would try it, and they could not do the big body, but like they could not do it. And I was like, "Yeah, it's a whole different way of training."
Yeah, no, it totally is. And it's funny because I have that background, I'm very picky when I see people like other gyms that are like kind of try to incorporate it and then they're teaching somebody to like swing but it looks like a squat with a front raise. I'm like, it's my pet peeve.
And I see people and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I don't want to be that person and be like, you are not doing that. Like, I'm not their coach.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
And the kettlebell selection and even the kettlebell that they don't, I'm like so picky now. I have on my spare bedroom, I have a pair from 12 kgs to 36 kgs now. So
Amazing.
and then I have a couple like even heavier ones. My heaviest is 56 kgs. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but it's here for
Yeah.
they're just in a little bit. I'm like, I don't ever have to go to the gym if I don't know. Sometimes I do want to go to the gym. Like I like to like, be around people, but some days I do not want to, and I can just go right in that room and like kill myself with a workout.
Yeah. So what are some ways that you take care of yourself physically, mentally as a busy teacher, a kettlebell coach, because you're also a fitness coach and a content creator? How do you kind of manage everything?
It's my gosh. On the weekends I take lots of naps. But I definitely get I get my massages every 3 to 4 weeks. I have one that's like a relaxing massage, but I also have a Rolfing guy who like I can't mess with him because it's not a fun massage, but like
it's not relaxing at all.
It's not relaxing, but my body needs it. And I missed him one day. I forget why. And he's so hard to get into. So I couldn't go until my next appointment. So it was like 2 months and my body was not in the best shape. Like it was bad. I could feel it. I was like, I need Drew. But I do that and I go to a chiropractor like once a month or every 6 weeks. Just because I get out of line, like my hips do. Like I just need to do that. And I feel like if you're training really hard, like you have to be doing things like massages and even like ice baths. I don't do that. I would love to. I wish I could just have one here. Sauna, like I'll go in the sauna when I can at my gym. Just little things like that. I'm very big on like the self-care. And another thing that's helpful is that I live by myself and I have no kids. So I do have downtime to myself. And a lot of the ways I spend that is like even just like with kettlebell flows. Like it's almost like yoga with a kettlebell. That is like my that's like my me time and I love it. And I'll go to certain like random fields that I find or like places that I have this like red barn near my house. And I just love this red barn. And I'm like, I just want to bring a kettlebell there and just like flow and stretch.
Aw.
And it's like so, so peaceful. And I'm not like a big, like, I don't go out a lot. I'm old. Like, I'm 41. What am I going to do? I'm not going to like, I don't date.
We're not at the clubs right now.
Scared me from dating. I do not date. So I'm just like, it's just me and my kettlebells against the world.
I'm into it. I am into it. I also have no children, but I do have my husband here. And I will say that also is kind of the self-care time because it's like after work and training and just like having space to yourself and like
Yeah.
I don't have a little person to take care of, so it's kind of nice to just like because we take care of little people all day, so it's like
I cannot. For all the teachers that go home to their own kids, like I give them so much credit. I just can't.
Yeah.
I could never. It's
yeah,
just
same.
I have no mental energy left for children after being around them, and I love children.
Same.
I connect with them better than I connect with adults. But I told my class always asks like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm having a baby." They're like, "Why?" And they're like, do you like kids?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love you guys. But I don't want any of you living with me." I tell them straight up,
Oh my God.
Was
I'm here for the honesty. I'm here for it. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so my last question that I ask all my guests is what advice would you share with your teenage self and teens today?
oh man, that's a tough one. Honestly, I would just say you gotta like just stay focused. So when you're so focused on yourself, you have no time to like worry about what other people are thinking of you, what other people are doing. And I've of course only learned that later in life, but I just I've always been a person that really doesn't need validation from others. Like I don't care if someone doesn't like me, that's fine. But I know there's a lot of people out there that are not that way and they're people pleasers. And even as when I was younger, I could have been a little more like that, like care too much about what other people think. And I think being 40 in your 40s is beautiful because I'm like every year I'm just getting more and more like I don't care. And I'm so focused on my own things that I don't even know if anyone else is doing. I don't even know if someone doesn't like me. I don't even know other people exist. And it's just because I'm super like just focused on making myself happy, I guess.
Yeah.
Even after like my last relationship too, like when I go through a breakup, I tend to like stay single for a very long time. And I think it's because I really do like my own energy and like being in my own energy and need that. And it's like I almost like don't want to break that peace. Like I don't want to give
Yeah.
my time to someone else that's not worth it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think
I
especially
totally
with
think that
social
is
media
amazing
now,
advice.
like these you just I'm grateful that it wasn't around when I was a kid, honestly. But I really think like find something you're passionate in. If you're passionate in a sport, if you're passionate in working out, like put your energy into that and not into like other like I don't know, just caring about what other people are doing and comparing yourself. It's just focus on your own self-improvement.
Yeah. No, I think that would have been great advice for me as a teenager, as a recovering people pleaser who is now like my word of the year is unbothered. And I'm like
Yes.
here for it.
Yes. I've always lived
Yes.
unbothered, so it's very easy for me. But like a
Yeah.
lot of people don't. A lot of people,
Yeah.
um, I know a lot of are people that can't say no. Like they want to do, like
Yeah.
they can't say no to people. It's like, and we're always taught like that we're being selfish, and it's like I don't care. I am selfish. Like I'm putting myself above anyone else, and why would I not? Like,
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think it's funny because I do realize as somebody who cared so much about what people thought and that kind of energy, now being in a different place and mindset and being more unbothered with things, I tend to gravitate now more towards people who are unbothered. And I think that's what also made me like connect with your page more, because I was like, she's giving unbothered, like she's just doing her thing. And
a lot of people do resonate with that and connect with it, and then people don't like me because of that. And the people that don't like me are the people that are just a little bit insecure, and that's fine. Like, if you're insecure and you're probably not going to like me. I'm a very big presence, loud. I don't know.
Yeah.
And not everybody is put on this planet to like get along. We don't. It's just like dating. Like, you're compatible with certain people.
Exactly. 100%. I love that. Fabulous advice for everyone listening. So Jamie, how can we support you? Where can we direct people?
Really, I know I should get more on TikTok, and I'm not. I have my Instagram. That's basically like that's like my social media platform. I'm not like a big Facebook person. I definitely will be doing kettlebells again, like because my students are taking these kettlebells at the end of the year, like it's theirs. So I'll definitely be like doing GoFundMe again, like in September. This is a thing. Like I'm gonna do it every year now until I can't. So.
That's amazing. That is so cool. You're letting them keep the kettlebells. Oh my gosh.
I have to tell you this such a sad story really quick. So I was first grade last year. They moved me to second grade. Which this is another thing. This is so cliche, but everything happens for a reason. So they moved me to second grade. I was so upset, like sick to my stomach, crying, because the first grade, my class last year was like the worst class I've ever had. And it was the whole grade. The whole grade was like crazy.
Yeah, I've had that. I've had that before.
It's so crazy in second grade, but I have a different mix this year. So I get told after the worst year of my life, that I'm going up with them to second grade. And I'm like sick over it. I'm like, oh my God, I was going to like apply to other jobs. My principal was like, we just really need you to do this for us. And you can pick some kids to be in your class. And I told them like who definitely not to put in my class. So I picked this one kid that I loved in first grade. I'm like, can he be in my class next year? And they're like, yes, done. You get him. So he's in my class this year. He's amazing with the kettlebells. Like crazy. He does juggling. Like he just picked up on it like this, like crazy. Well, 2 Mondays ago, I get an email and it says that he moved to Ohio. Like he just up and moved. And I'm like devastated. I'm like, why did he move? I have no idea. So I contacted his mom. I'm like, he needs his kettlebell. Like this is like something he was really good at. It's something that he could continue to, be good at. And a lot of these kids, where they come from, they don't have that support at home. Like I teach in a very underprivileged district, lots of gangs and stuff where, like if you can find even one or two of these children and get them like into this instead of like, going into drugs later in life,
Yeah.
So she gave me her address and we all wrote him a letter and I'm mailing out his kettlebell. I mailed it out yesterday. So I'm like, hopefully he uses it. And I'm like, send videos.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so special. You're such a special teacher.
Oh, thank you. And my students ask me every day, when can we take our kettlebells home? I'm like, guys, at the end of the year.
Oh my gosh, they're ready. Like they're ready. They're like, okay, I'm ready to kettlebell flow at home. Oh my gosh, I love that.
We just performed at our character ed assembly too, like in front of the school on Friday. It's so funny. I have like the video clip and you can see like, first of all, at the end when they flex, it's the cutest thing. And at the beginning, like one of my students is like going like this, like waving at everyone. And they're just like so loud.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like this is going to be core memories for your students. And this is why things like this are so important, because they're not going to remember the lesson in history or this or that. Like they're literally going to remember this stuff. And we, need more of these little moments and teachable skills and real world things connected to our kids. So I am so grateful for you for joining me on this episode. And I'm so grateful for all you do in education and fitness space and teaching your students. And I love seeing strong women take up space online and out in the world. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thanks to everyone for listening to the Pretty Little Lifters podcast. And I will share Jamie's info and her Instagram handle in the show notes so you can support her. Keep an eye out for when she's getting new kettlebells for her class. Maybe you can donate. Yes. And I will talk to you next episode. Bye.